Good morning, everyone. Jim Laird here from Indian Shores Beach. Feel like Winnie the Pooh and then blustery day. So, um, beautiful morning this morning. It's been
Yeah,
awesome fall here. I'm joined with an on-time Dr. Stillman,
that's right.
and make sure you get on our email list. I think the webinar this week is what not to do with hormone replacement and
Oh,
things
hormone
of that.
secrets, what
Hormone
to do and
secrets.
what not to do.
Exactly. So get on our email list, go over to stillmanwellness.com, put your email in there, and we'll send you a notification tonight and Wednesday with that link so you can get on the email or the webinar. It is not streamed. It's for only people on our list and only for people in our courses,
Well, it's not
our
streamed to
fundamentals
YouTube,
wellness course.
Facebook, Twitter, all the social media platforms that like to censor us and punish us with
Right.
their capricious
Yeah.
algorithms.
I'm in Instagram jail right now, and I'm
You
continuing.
got back in the Instagram jail, Jim?
Oh, I'm in forever, dude. So I'm just living it up.
They
I'm
threw
just
away
like
the key.
I got flagged for using the word Rommel. They said it was Nazi-ish. So they obviously don't know their history. So yeah, so yeah, my dog they're like, you can't use the word Rommel. And I was like, it's my dog's name, and he was not a Nazi. Rommel was not a Nazi. So needless to say, so I'm in there, so I'm taking full advantage of it. So today, hopefully the wind noise isn't too bad, but
It's not bad. It just cut.
tomorrow we'll make adjustments. Maybe if I do this, maybe that'll help.
No, it's working.
Oh,
so let's talk about crabs in a bucket.
Crabs in a bucket. So this is the unfortunate truth that most people don't want to realize. When you start to make positive changes in your life, if you are not surrounded, if like the story is and I've actually seen this happen. If you put a bunch of crabs in a bucket of water, why don't they just like crawl out of there, which they can, crawl up the side?
Right.
Well, one crab tries to make a jailbreak and the other crabs pull them back down. So when you start making these changes in your life, you might have some of your people in your life say, hey, like, I don't want you to make improvements and I'm going to drag you back down.
Right.
So a lot of people, when they come to the point where they're like, I need to improve my health, I need to make some changes,
you might wind up with all new friends and family.
Well, their friends and family are the ones holding them back.
Well, I mean,
a lot of people.
Yes, yeah. But that's why I say you might wind up with all new friends and family, because we've seen this so many times. Somebody says, I'm ready to get healthy, right? They stop eating the ice cream. They stop going out for meals. They start going to the gym. They start a supplement protocol, maybe with us, maybe with somebody else. They start living healthy, exercising, getting things right, getting sun, not going out late at night, not partying, not interacting on social media. And people say, hey, what happened to you? You used to be so much fun. And all of a sudden it's like, well, I can still be fun. I still care about you, but I don't want to be unhealthy. And so then their friends and family try and pull them back into those toxic habits, behaviors, times, places. And if you're not careful, you get pulled back down into the bucket like the crabs. And that's one of the number one things holding people back from achieving their wellness and maintaining their wellness is, and ultimately what we see is that healthy people with healthy mindsets don't ever say to their friends, why are you doing this thing to get healthy? They might respectfully say, hey, are you really sure that's like the thing that's going to help you? Because, it is normal. And I don't know if I want to say normal, but it's very common for people to go over the top with their wellness, right? They are doing 6 coffee enemas a day and 3 sauna sessions. And they don't know why they're tired. A friend who's concerned might say something like, are you really sure you should be doing that much of that? You could say that for the gym, the HIIT classes, the intermittent fasting, the keto dieting, the insert wellness protocol or habit here. But the key is to understand that it's done in a respectful way, not in a condescending, negative, cynical way. And this is one reason why we talk about relationships with people in our coaching programs and try to help them understand what do healthy relationships look like. Because if the more unhealthy the person's mindset and relationships, the more they're going to tend to do this. It's why I like to recommend to people the book by Cloud and Townsend, Safe People. Their other book, Boundaries. They have a whole list of other books too. I love those two books for helping people understand this problem. I like the book, Don't You Know Who I Am? And the other book by this author called Should I Stay or Should I Go? Dr. Ramani Durvasula. She is one of the top and also the most prolific in terms of the media she produces for the lay public. She's one of the top people in the narcissistic personality disorder space. She's the person who really got through to me about how this could affect, me personally, professionally, and then my patients. And that's part of why in the 5 fundamentals, the 5th one is have a community. And we can't just say have a community because, you could pick up a community of really unhealthy people. You have to have a community of healthy, empowering, positively minded people. Not that they're going to be perfect, because nobody's perfect, but they don't engage in toxic behaviors. And if they do, and you mention it to them, they are willing to talk about it and change. So that's why the crabs in the bucket are so important.
Healthy people are going to want to see you be successful and are going to revel in that fact and celebrate it with you. And true friends are going to tell you the truth. They're going to say, "Hey, I don't think that's in your best interest."
Yes.
And it's going to be done in a loving. And they'll also have boundaries too. A true friend will, if you're causing them to have issues, will put distance between them and you on purpose, right?
Yeah.
So boundaries are very healthy. The number one thing I've seen over the years, particularly with couples, is when one couple buys into it, the light at night thing really seems to be the one that is the crucifix, like the silver stake through the heart. That tends to drive people insane.
What a entertaining way to put that, Jim. Do tell.
Well, I had one lady who started changing her light bulbs and started wearing blue blockers, and her husband was a lawyer, very cynical, very negative, like eating cereal at like 3 o'clock in the morning kind of guy. Yikes. And doesn't understand why he feels so terrible. And he just went absolutely insane. He's like, "I can't stand this anymore," just the whole thing. And I was just like, just wear the blue blockers, don't worry about the rest of the stuff. Just do your thing and get healthier. And obviously you don't need to destroy your house over, not, having overhead lights on. If he wants to put them on, then put them on. You got to do the best you can. Just wear your blue blockers and just let him come to his conclusions on his own. So that seems to be a big one, for people, is that, one in relationships, particularly in marriages, one spouse will get all on board about getting themselves in a good place, and the other one just doesn't want to have anything to do with it. And I just tell them, just do your thing and do the best you can, and don't try and convert the other person, because they have to want to do it themselves. And that I've seen that over the years cause a lot of issues with people.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's one of the reasons why we've started the coaching groups too, is because that way you can get in with like-minded people, and you can, we've had a lot of people on calls vent about, hey, my children are doing this, this, and this. And, we talk about, you got to lead by example. You can't just dictate, you can't tell them not to be on screens at, 10 o'clock at night and you're sitting there watching Netflix, so you got to lead by example.
Right.
Where are you located right now?
St. Petersburg.
Just changing it up a little bit.
Yeah, St. Petersburg.
Are you in St.
This week, tomorrow, tonight or today, depending on when we get some work done, I'm going to be driving out to this place called Galt's Landing.
Oh, yeah.
Did I tell you about that place?
In Orlando?
Yes, there's this place called Galt's Landing in Orlando.
Yeah.
Southeast of Orlando near St. Cloud. And it's a permaculture tiny home complex, basically.
Nice.
And so I'm going out there because I'm fascinated to meet the guy who founded it, Jim Gale. Because I think one of the biggest, we talk about resiliency, we talk about health, we talk about well-being. Sure. The more I look at the problems of the modern world, the more I think that the average person, what they need more than maybe anything is their own garden and their own time in nature spent growing things. Because, one of the things that Jim and I can't help but be fascinated and interested in is disaster preparedness. Because all of the things that we do are for nothing if a disaster comes by and floods your house. Or
did you see on the news lately? It's been the solar storm has been the main story that
no, I
could
did
wipe
not.
out the
You got a
internet
solar
for.
storm?
Yeah,
Yeah.
every media channel at the same time has been running the story. There could be a solar storm that wipes out the entire internet for a whole month. That's been the lead story here recently.
Yeah.
So very interesting.
It is interesting, right? We were all pushed onto the internet by an event that will not be named. Now there's this noise that perhaps the internet will
Hear
go
about it.
away.
Yeah,
It's
very
almost as though there's a strategy to make sure no one is left who's independent and in business for themselves, Jim.
They would never do that. They want everyone to be
No.
self-sustaining, free
Just with
thinking.
those crazy, kooky, tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy nut
Well,
jobs.
and it's interesting. Yesterday I jumped on here just to test my internet connection to make sure it was working decent and see how the audio was and the video and stuff. And I talked about how much joy I've achieved in the last 2 years by getting rid of crap.
Yes.
And I'm down to like half a 10 by 10 storage unit and what I can fit in my Pathfinder. And you'll be proud of me. I actually yesterday when I moved in here, I took everything out of my Pathfinder and put everything in a drawer, and everything has its place. Can you believe it?
Jim,
I've never done that in my entire life.
All the therapy you're going through must be working.
I know it's not, and it was just so liberating to have. And that's one of the reasons I'm moving to Nicaragua. So I'm going to live in a little tiny home with just the bare minimum stuff that I need. I'm not going to have a whole bunch of stuff that I don't need, and it's been really awesome. I put things away. It's just like I don't know who I am anymore.
It's great, Jim. It's great, man.
Really weird.
I'm glad for you.
I'm not Dr. Stillman clean yet, which I don't think I need to be.
Man.
But
don't worry about that.
Not everybody needs to be Dr. Stillman clean. But
no, it's next level.
I found a happy medium for me, anyways. So
yeah. So throw us a like, a share, a comment. The algorithm hates us because we say things like we say, and hopefully that's why you tune in to watch us and tune into our stuff. And make sure you're on our email list. And what I was going to tell you about this Gulf landing place is this guy has worked out how to grow enough food on a 1/4 acre lot to feed a family of 4. And I want to see what that looks like in action. And as you and I have talked about, he's got connections now with our friends at ECI Development, and he's going to be helping them plan their permaculture operations throughout their Central American housing developments.
Sure. Well, the nice thing about Nicaragua is it's all one giant. I mean, there's so much food. I mean, it's like and I look at like places like Hawaii. They just made it illegal to plant fruit trees in your yard.
These people are nuts.
I mean, we're no longer the land of the free and the home of the brave. It's the land of the governed and the home of the compliant. Fortunately,
hard to argue with that.
This show is definitely not going to get any views. So
anyway, yeah, but I think that your own food production is. I mean, we may even do some kind of course on this. I don't know what Jim Gale has already created on that, but I would love to do a course.
Yeah, I think it's critical in the near future that you be able to take care of yourself and your family. I actually ordered. I have it's been for a couple of days I camped and I had a 300 watt. They call it a battery bank or solar generator, and I realized I can only run my fridge for like 6 hours, 7 hours with it. So I bought a 2,000 watt one, and you can actually run a refrigerator for 3 days with this thing.
Wow.
And you can actually, it's really neat. You can plug it into the wall and plug it into your fridge into it. And the battery bank is smart enough to figure out that it has an AC connection and it'll run it straight. It won't go through the battery once the battery's charged.
Wow.
but as soon as that AC connection goes away, it'll kick over to the battery instantly. So you could have your refrigerator or freezer plugged into the wall, and then basically if the power goes out, it'll kick into the battery instantly.
Great.
So that's a really, and you can run up to 4 things off this thing at once. So it's pretty neat. And then you can run up to 800 watt solar panels off it to charge it up. So that's a really good investment, and they're pretty reasonable for what you get out of it.
Yeah. So, Jim, I think that's a wrap for today.
Amy actually says food production creates the need for more stuff. We work to be simple, but less self-sufficient. Tough balance. You'd be shocked if you look at a guy like that. Go on, look for the Ice Age farmer. If he hasn't been removed from everything on YouTube, he might be on Rumble, but he literally grows in stuff in Canada with like the very minimum. Like I was shocked. I mean, we obviously didn't go after it hardcore, but how easy it is to like sprout sweet potatoes. Like from one sweet potato, you can sprout 1 million sweet potatoes, and all you need is some buckets.
Yeah, millions pushing it, Jim.
Yeah, I mean, thousands.
From one sweet potato, you can sprout a lot of sweet potatoes.
So, food production is not as complicated as you think it is. So,
it's not.
Well, the wind is taking over. Get on our email list, and we'll see you here tomorrow. And I will make adjustments so I don't get so much wind.
Join our webinar on Thursday.
Yep, stillmanwellness.com. Go over there to get on it. And we'll be on here tomorrow with the lovely Lauren talking about what happens when a certain social media influencer doubled his testosterone.
Fascinating. Excellent.
Have a good day, everyone. Get outside.